Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Thursday Morning Live, and I got to be laughing here this morning. Backstage is my guest, and I'm watching him dance to the intro music this morning. Man, oh man, what a crazy guy we have on this morning. But hey, welcome. Glad that you're here. If you are new to the show, Thursday Morning Live, welcome. I am always glad to bring some good content, some good information, good conversation. Just, maybe something to spark your interest, your passion, help you move the ball forward for yourself. Yeah, remember next week, October 19th and 20th, Thursday and Friday, Multifamily Summit, my virtual event, annual virtual event. 15 great speakers this year. We're going to be talking about how to get started in multifamily, how to push the ball forward and do your next deal, how to mitigate this crazy market that we're in. We're going to talk about self-directed IRAs, 1031 exchanges, everything you need to know in a box in over 2 days. You come be overwhelmed. Go to multifamily23.com to get registered for that. It's been filling up pretty fast. I'm pretty excited about the amount of response and registration we've had this year. So there it is, Multifamily 23. If you, as I said, if you're new to the show, welcome this morning. If you're on YouTube this morning, smash that subscribe button. Help us out, help our following grow a little bit, and continue to be updated on great information, great content that we continue to bring out. Like us, love us on social media, wherever you are. But we're here to bring you information, knowledge on mindset, on investing, passively or actively, that's going to help your business grow. Hey, my guest this morning is a friend that God, we met probably a couple years ago now, year and a half ago. We're in a mastermind together, and if you do any masterminding or you thought about it, definitely meet some great people in masterminds. I know that years ago I was in a mastermind, and there were probably 12 or 15 of us, and a handful of us continue to stay in touch and know each other. Actually, a few of us were in a group just last year where I met Trystan Trenberth. He's with Bramble Investments in Phoenix. Let me bring him in. Put those glasses back on. How are you?
Great, thanks. Great. How are you today, Mike?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Likewise.
I know we've been trying to do this for a while, so I'm glad we finally got to get connected. And you're in Phoenix this morning.
Yep, Phoenix all day, every day, apart from when I travel. But yeah, it's a great place to be. I've been here since 2005, on and off.
Nice. Well, listen, I always like to start, and this should be good with you, but I always like to ask that one question. What, in one word, what best describes you personally and professionally?
I think the word that describes me is ubiquitous. I seem to be everywhere. I know.
Now I can say for sure nobody's ever said that word before. Leave it to Trystan to bring up something that nobody's ever said before.
So, I love relationships. I love people. I love connecting with people deeply, and just not necessarily knowing everything that's going on, but just being a lot of places at once, whether that's directly or indirectly. It's just I just relish people, the experience of people, and being around growth oriented human beings, the souls that bring us up in this world.
Is that have you always been that way, or do you think that developed over the years?
It's developed somewhat, but my dad was a great connector of people, and my parents were, I think if we look at the helping others as being a key of what I saw when I was growing up, they were always supporting other people, whether it was in the church or outside of the church, and just giving their time, their love, and supporting people through often tough times.
Yeah.
Then went through hotel management school. Obviously, that's another relationship situation. That's where I learned problem solving skills, bit of diplomacy as well. Solving problems with angry people, where I picked up mirroring and aligning with people. And, since then, through information technology for 20 years and then into real estate, just back to relationships again.
Awesome. So let's talk about your story a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously you haven't always lived in Phoenix. Where talk about your history a little bit, how you got here, what you're doing.
So I was born in Cornwall in the UK. It's the most southwesterly peninsula. There's a place called Land's End, which is the end of the land before the United States, which is several thousand miles over the Atlantic Ocean. I'm not sure the population, but there was about 120,000 people in the town that I grew up in. It was a coastal, rural town, so we were all, less than a mile from the beach most of my life. There were cows in fields within half a mile or a mile of where I grew up, and just a real great town community. My dad knew everyone in town. Everyone knew my dad. And because he grew up in the town, he moved to London for a few years to try and find his career as a professional opera singer. Never quite found the connections to do that. Moved back to town when he married my mum, and that's where I grew up. So I was already in a situation where I was known, whether that was a great thing at the time, depending on what I've been up to or not. But it was just great to have people around that cared. And that's one of the great traits I bring to my life and the people around me is, deep level of caring, support, and, doing whatever we can to support one another.
Yeah. I love what you said about whether that's a good thing or not to be known. We have a good friend, mutual friend that has a couple million followers on a couple of different social media platforms, and he wants to be known by everybody. So, I think that is a good thing. You want people to know you. You want people to know who you are, what you stand for, and what you can give back.
Yeah, yeah. They say all publicity is good publicity, but there's been some questionable stuff in recent years, I think, hasn't there, for some people?
Yeah. Well, I think we all learn. But
Yeah.
hey, so speaking of learning, here's a question just kind of off the cuff I want to ask you. So you and I spent 10 months in a mastermind together.
Mm.
What do you think was the one thing you walked away from over that 10 months that made a difference in your life?
Wow, this is my third year in it now, and each year there's just a growing awareness of myself and where I put limitations on myself, subconsciously or unconsciously. And even last night, I spent about an hour watching YouTube. It was the America's Got Talents and Britain's Got Talent auditions, and to be completely transparent, there's these, and it was labeled the most, don't judge a book by its cover. The strange looking people, and Matthew always says, step over no one. Connect deeply with people, can step over no one. And these people just brought massive surprises in their performance, their vulnerability. And, one of the things that I was doing in my gems this morning was, they were risking success. So many of us are averse to risking failure, but we're not willing to risk success. And that really came through. And I think, from that last 10 months that we spent is, the importance of relationships, the importance of being very defined in what we offer and what we have within ourselves to put out there, and choosing being very definite about what we choose to give away with ourselves, and make sure we keep our cups full to be able to give from abundance instead of, instead of just running ourselves dry, basically.
Yeah, I love that. I love that thought about not stepping over anyone, and coming from abundance, because I think we all have abundance in our lives, and if we come from that place, I have a buddy that we walk down the beach in Venice or through the streets of Chicago, and he has no problem helping somebody who's got a cup out looking for money, or and so his abundance overflows, and it's a great example to watch that. Hey, real quick though, I just want to say hi to everybody who's listening in this morning. I know there's a number of people online. Alan's already said hi to us. Alan,
Morning,
good
Alan.
to hear from you. And if anybody else is out there, you want to check in, drop your name in the chat, ask Trystan a question, whatever we can do to help support you this morning. So, Trystan, what are you working on these days?
What I'm working on now is getting ready for 2 months in Southeast Asia early in the new year. It's been a whirlwind of a 4.5 years getting into real estate. There's just been so much going on. I feel I'm a mile wide and an inch deep in some ways, but I am very focused on creating more notes, finding creative finance properties subject to seller finance to wrap, and just create passive notes. I love the note side of things. I love the creativity of being able to structure deals in a way that makes sense for somebody to have the opportunity to buy a home and live in a home that they own when they may not be able to do so. They may not be showing as much income, but they're a doctor or attorney. I mean, that's the higher end of things, but there's a lot of other people in the lower demographics that couldn't buy a house, and we can provide home ownership for those people that couldn't qualify with a bank. We also have a number of fix and flips coming online. We actually evicting somebody today. It's been 11 months since I got that under contract originally. The guy refused to sign the paperwork to close in January, and he got divorced 12 years ago. And we eventually had his ex-wife file some paperwork with the court to force him to sign the documents to sell the house, because he dragged her through foreclosure 4 or 5 times in the last 12 years. And the divorce decree stated that he needed to sell or refinance her out within 6 months. So we bought that one in July. We gave him 30-day post-possession, and we're another month and a half past that, and the constable's turning up today, and he'll be leaving. So
the constable.
Yeah, the sheriff or somebody in the sheriff's department. So I mean, it's not nice having somebody leave their home forcibly, but he's had 11 months to get his stuff together, and it's just one of the things that we deal with the different facets of real estate. Note investing, as I've just stated, it's either performing or it isn't. That's kind of like a renovation on a note. If it's underperforming, it's a lot easier to do than it is with a renovation when somebody won't leave the property. So there's a lot of facets to it, and I'm just making sure that I'm putting my time out the most effective and efficient way that I can, to ensure that my time is leveraged at its highest level, and I can delegate things to other people, and just stop doing things that are not efficient of my time.
Yeah. I think that evictions are like one of the toughest things about being in the business that we're in, because it's the saddest thing. I actually built a number of years ago a property management company around the residential side that was built because all I did was market that I was an eviction professional. And I took on 100 units in about an 11-month period, because I did all the evictions for people.
Wow.
And so, but it's tough to watch some of this, and the sheriffs show up, and people and kids, and it's a tough part of the business, but it also is a part of the business that we have to do. I think property management in general gets underrated sometimes.
Yeah.
There's just not enough recognition for the property manager or the management team, because they're on the ground every day. Those are the folks that are dealing with people, with people's lives and personalities and issues, right?
Yep. And then when we get into the bigger space, they're such a partner of ours. On the single family side of things, they're a partner in one way, but on the multifamily side, it's a different context of property management. The amount of value that they can add is incredible. Like when you were in Phoenix, we met the company CalCap, I think it was, that will offer a lot of they won't underwrite the deal for you, but they'll go in and actually provide a lot of value and knowledge of the market, where a lot of property management companies on the single family side, they're very focused on the day-to-day operations, but not necessarily the forecasting and market knowledge necessary.
Yeah. Well, I know that you are in the uh, subject to space,
Yeah.
and doing a lot of creative type of financing. Maybe I should have you find me a place out there.
I'm always looking, and I'll let you know, Mike, because I'd love to have you down here. I need to improve my golf. They say always play with people better than you, so you better
Well,
be
that
pretty
wouldn't
good.
be me. That wouldn't be me. I was golfing last weekend with 12 knuckleheads up in central Wisconsin, and man, I just couldn't figure it out. 2 days of I was
Yeah,
just like, I wanted to quit, but you know me, I don't quit at anything. So,
yeah, yeah.
what when you go to Southeast Asia, what's your intention? What's your goal around that?
So, manifesting a trip that's, easy, not rushing around. Maybe it's some reflection on a beach, jungles, wherever that takes me. I think it'll either be, I'm planning to go to the UK on the way through. So I know it's kind of that way, but I'm going to go that way instead. Probably stop for 2 or 3 days in the UK, see some family, then head on to Tokyo. And I'm not sure whether I'll end up in Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand, or maybe Indonesia, Malaysia, Bali, that kind of area, and just chill out for a couple of months, just spend some time with myself. Again, one of the downsides of being ubiquitous is it doesn't necessarily leave so much time to yourself to self-reflect and give yourself that attention that is highly beneficial for us. So it'll either be that, or maybe I'll take on a photography gig with a rock band. I love photography. I love music. I know a number of people in the business, and the or better is going to be joining a circus and running away from the circus for a couple of months, and being on stages and in pits and that kind of stuff, and just photographing the energy of music and capturing people.
Well, what an awesome kind of vision. Just do something, different, right?
Yeah,
Outside your box, outside your norm. I know one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about lately is I'd like to rent an RV. RVs have gotten kind of the craze these days. I'd like to rent an RV, but not just an RV. It makes me think about it when you said you want to go photograph a rock band. I want to rent a rock and roll RV.
nice. Yeah,
And drive from one end of the country to the other and
yeah.
see all the sites that you know um, over the years I haven't had a chance to see,
Mm.
because I've traveled a lot. You know that. I mean,
Yeah.
we travel a lot in the real estate business and networking and masterminding, and but to get out there and do some different things might be kind of fun.
And that's the thing. We do travel a lot, but it's not travel for us specifically for self-care and self-love and the enjoyment necessary. We have a great time. We hang around great people, but it's not exactly downtime. It's always on. So enjoyable part of my life, but then there's that the contrast to that as well that we need to pick up. So it's almost like a bit of catch up on that, I think.
Yeah. Hey, so let's talk about relationships and networking a little bit. We're both big networkers. We're out, we're at events, we travel around, we go to events. You could go to a networking event. You can meet 10, 15, 20 people,
Yeah.
right? But how do you determine in that event, or in that connection with somebody, that's somebody that you want to build a deeper relationship with?
Um, I think that it's if you look at the Winning Friends and Influence People approach by Carnegie, you connect deeply with that person, or giving the gift. If you connect deeply with them and they share what they're looking for, it's not that I'm in a transactional situation, but do they have any interest in what I'm looking to do? Is it a reciprocal thing? Is it a transformational connection, or is it a transactional relationship where they want something from you, but there's not necessarily something apparently available to you on the other side of that. And the reason I say transactional, they're looking for something for themselves, self-serving, effectively. There's so many people that are in sales. All they're doing is just trying to get an opportunity, like LinkedIn. People are connecting with you. They're trying to connect with you there. And it's like, oh, I'd love 15 minutes with you to learn more about your business. They're trying to find a little fissure in your business to say, oh, now you've got a problem that my product fills. And they're just trying to hammer in their product. They're trying to do whatever it is to benefit them. And that comes across very, very quickly. One of the things that I've taken away from the mastermind, going back to the earlier question, is intuition, being aware of my intuition much more. And I'm much, much more aware now that when I connect with somebody, even before necessarily I talk to them, whether it's going to be a transaction, a single-sided self-serving conversation, or something that's transformational. And I don't often have the answer for people that I talk to, but I have a connection. But when I make a referral for a connection, I need to know that I can trust that person before I make that introduction, because my reputation is on the line with you.
Right.
If somebody said, oh, I need to put my money somewhere, and they've got, whatever it is that they need to invest, I need to make sure that I'm comfortable that I would be willing to risk your trust by referring this person to you, for example, and not having a backlash, or at least know that that's something that I take on. So there's a lot of people I meet that I could help, but I don't think they're a good fit for the people. So I deflect them. I'll put them onto a different path. I'll provide some value and some help, but I protect my relationships extremely well. And I trust other people to protect the relationship they have with me. And that's what I become much more aware of is, are they somebody that is going to help in the way that I do? And I'm not saying they need to be like me, but is that within their soul to be transformational with somebody else, or is it just something that they're just looking to benefit on a one-sided outcome?
Yeah. No. The one thing that always amazes me is if I'm in a conversation with somebody, I think that the relationship develops because it's give and take, right?
Mm.
You and I met, and we would ask questions of each other to get to know each other more.
Yeah.
But the conversations that you can tend to get in with people where you're asking them questions and they never ask you anything about you.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell. You kind of alluded to that early on in that, but
Mm.
you kind of tell that some people just it's all self-serving, right? What's in it for me. So it's interesting. So
And so
hey,
many don't even realize either.
yeah, right. So why should somebody reach out to you?
I don't talk a lot about capital, but for obvious reasons with SEC laws, etc. But I'm always raising money for opportunities here, whether it's investing in single family rentals, whether it's residential multifamily or fix and flips. You can definitely reach out to me. I've got a podcast which actually drops today with you, Mike, which is talking about birth to net worth. It's about people's relationship with money from their first memory, and anything that we do the first time generally sets our context with whatever it is. If the first time you met a dog, it bites you, you're probably going to have an attitude that all dogs bite, at least for a period of time. And same with money. If that's a negative thing, we don't have enough. If it's a point of scarcity, you don't have enough, then that probably sets your relationship. So it's important for us to get that conversation out there. And I want to help people grow their wealth, grow their net worth. And it's not any high level thing. It's simple opportunities for people. It can be a short term investment. It can be a longer term investment. But, if you go to investwithtristan.com, you can fill out some information. We'll find out if you're an accredited investor, if you fit certain opportunities or not. And, I don't have all of the opportunities. Like I said, I'm a connector. If you fit something that Mike is doing, he's got a great project in Tulsa, Oklahoma right now. If you're a fit for that one, I'll refer you to Mike. I'll refer you to the Clever Investor Fund. I'll refer you to whatever it is that I feel may be the best fit for you. And it could just be working with me, just to get to know and get to understand if amounts of money are limited, we can help you grow that. And, one of the things I'm reading right now is The And Asset, an amazing book on compounding interest and not touching and interrupting that compounding. So I just want to be able to bring value to you. And I turn away probably 60% of the people that ask to invest with me because I don't feel they're quite ready, whether it's a relationship with money, whether it's a mindset, whether it's maybe not quite enough right now. But I'll always try and make an opportunity for you to grow and learn and, give you resources to be able to, gain more knowledge and more confidence, to be able to put that to work and help your family, help your legacy.
Awesome. Well spoken. Did you say the A-N-D or E-N-D?
A-N-D, the And Asset, because, if you have 1 penny today and 1 penny tomorrow, and then you're doubling every day, it's the And is the asset, which is the compounding of interest, the eighth wonder of the world, as Einstein put it.
Yeah, interesting. Hey, there's always that classic question, right? Would you rather have $1 million today or a penny doubled every day for 31 days?
That's the exact thing. And that amazed me. That was in the 2nd chapter of the book.
Yeah.
Penny every day.
So if anybody wants to know the answer to that question, reach out to Trystan. I know Perfect. He knows it. Hey, thanks for being here this morning. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, Mike. I appreciate you.
Tell people how to get a hold of you again.
So at Trystan Trenberth or investwithtristan.com. Those are the 2 best ways to get hold of me. I've got a YouTube channel, look for Birth to Net Worth, and you'll find Mike is on there this morning as of 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and he's also on the Apple Podcast channel as well. So you can either listen while you're in the car on Apple or watch us hang out and talk for an hour on YouTube. Either way, I appreciate you reaching out.
Today was kind of a big day for both of us here, huh? So
absolutely,
hey, glad they were here. Good seeing you. Always wonderful to connect with you.
Likewise.
And, I will, I will be coming out to see you here shortly, and we'll play some golf. We'll
Don't threaten me with a good time, Mike.
Yeah, stumble around together, right? So, hey, everybody, thanks for being here. Reach out to Trystan. Follow him on Instagram. He has some great stuff, great content all the time. So go find Trystan on Instagram, find his podcast, listen in. If I can answer any questions for you, don't hesitate to reach out. And don't forget, next week, Multifamily Summit, our annual virtual event. A couple of great speakers that you're not going to want to miss. Some big names in the industry. So go to multifamily23.com, get registered for that, and we will see you next week. We will not be live next week because the summit will be going on Thursday next week. So have a great week. We'll see you all in